Today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys the new fastest TTK meta kill guns here in Black Ops 6 Season 1 Reloaded. Looking at the first gun here, we're going to be going with the AK-74. For starters, for this one right here, this is going to be a preference thing, but for the build, we're going to be using the Merlin Mini. You could also use the Kepler Microflex. Merlin Mini, like I said, for this one. For the muzzle, you guys want to use the compensator. Normally, I would say suppressor, but the compensator helps this gun out tremendously, so make sure you have that on. For the barrel, long barrel, under barrel is going to be the vertical foregrip. For the magazine, we're going to be using mag 1. Now you could use a fast mag. The reason why we're using mag 1 is to get those additional bullets. Moving on to the rear grip, commando grip. Any AR, you want to make sure you have the commando grip on it. For the stock, we're going to be using the combat stock. And then for the final attachment, it's going to be the recoil springs. Taking this gun into the firing range, as you guys can see, anywhere from that 10, 25, 50, you're gonna have no problem getting a kill with this gun. Now, if you guys want to use a 5 setup for this one, what I would take off would be the magazine, the rear grip, the stock, and then you're left with these 5 attachments right here. As you guys can see, the gun is still solid. You just want to make sure that you do have the recoil springs on, and the only downside is having the 10 less bullets than you did with that mag, which really doesn't make a difference. Just watch your ammo. Moving on to the second setup, it's going to be the KSV. This gun has been dominating for a while. It's still a top tier gun. Everybody's using it in ranked. So this gun, we're going to start things out with the muzzle. You want to make sure that you have the compensator on it. Now, you could also use the ported, but for this one, we're using the compensator. For the barrel, we're going to be using the long barrel. The under barrel, it's going to be the vertical foregrip. Magazine, we're going to be using mag 2 for the 50 rounds. The rear grip, every SMG is going to be the ergonomic grip, so make sure you have that. The stock is going to be the balance stock, and then a fire mod of the recoil springs. And then the final attachment, this one's going to be optional, would be the target laser to reduce any of the aiming idle sway. So we're going to put that on. I'm going to take it to the fire range just to show you guys. As you can see when you ADS with this gun, there is absolutely no sway at all. Now, it's just tricky to hit with this gun for the longer shots, but it's an SMG, so you're not really going to be in long gunfights. So the 25 to 10, as you guys can see, it'll get the job done. But even at the 50, if you hit your shots, the gun will kill. So if you don't want to use the 8 attachment setup for this one, we're going to remove the target laser, we're going to remove the extended mag, we're going to remove the grip, and we're going to be using the recoil springs, and then this setup right here, and you guys should be perfectly fine. Showing you guys right here. Anywhere from that 10 to 25, like I said, using the 5 will be no problem at all. Last, number 3 is going to be the SAUG. This gun has been a top contender, in my opinion, since release. This gun still dominates. It hasn't been touched yet. So for this build, you guys are going to be using an optic on this, which is weird for a sub, I know, but this needs it. So we're going to be using the Kepler Microflex. The muzzle is going to be the compensator, the barrel, long barrel, under barrel, vertical foregrip. The magazine, we're going to be using mag 2 for the 55. For the rear grip, we're going to be using the ergonomic, like I said, with every subclass. The stock is going to be the balance, which is very common with any SMG class as well. And then for the final attachment, it's going to be the recoil springs. As you guys can see, anywhere from that 10 to 25, you're going to have no problem getting the kill. Even at the 50, but it's a little tricky, just like the previous one. But usually any sub 10 to 25, you guys are going to be fine. Especially with this gun having a sight on it and then long barrel. I mean, you could kill at the 50, but you're going to have to tap it and just watch how many shots you hit. So if you guys are looking for a 5 setup attachment, we're going to remove the extended mag, we're going to remove the grip and the stock, and that's going to leave us with this. And as you guys can see, anywhere from the 10 to 25, like I've been saying, this gun is going to get the job done. Fourth class we're going to be looking at is going to be the good old XM4. This gun is still a top contender, and I feel like it's going to be for the entirety of Black Ops 6. I really don't think they're going to mess with this gun too much, because it's just very nostalgic to the game, and I feel like it's just going to be there for the entirety of it, like I said. Starting things off with the optic, the Kepler Microflex or the Merlin Mini. This one I prefer the Microflex. The muzzle is going to be a suppressor. The barrel, we're going to be using the long underbarrel vertical foregrip. The magazine for this one, we're going to be using Mag 2 for the 60 round. The rear grip is going to be the Commando. The stock, you want to make sure you have the buffer weight stock on this one. And then for the final attachment, it's going to be rapid fire. So once you guys go in here, as you can see, this gun, even with the rapid fire, has a low recoil. Especially with this setup right here. Now, if you guys are looking for the 5 setup, I would remove the grip, the mag, and then the stock, and you're left with this. Now, an alteration to this one, instead of the rapid fire, if you can't control the recoil, would be the recoil springs. But I'm going to show you guys that it's not terrible even with the rapid fire. You can pretty much control it. It's not the worst. But if you can't control it, then I would recommend using the recoil springs for a 5 setup. The final class, we're going to be looking at the Model L. A lot of people use this gun, and I haven't seen many people using it lately, but this gun is still a top contender. It'll dominate most of the ARs. Starting this one off, we're going to be using an optic, the Kepler Microflex. The muzzle, we're going to be using a suppressor. The barrel is going to be a long barrel. Underbarrel, we're going to be using the vertical foregrip. Now this one, you could switch between barrels. You could either use the reinforced or the long barrel, but we're going to keep the long barrel. That one on this gun is pretty much a preference, like I said. Magazine is going to be Mag 2, so we get the 50 round. The grip is going to be the Commando, stock combat, and then for the final attachment, recoil springs. As you guys can see, no problem at all hitting at that 50. There's very minimal recoil with this gun. For a 5 setup, I would take off the combat stock, the grip, and the magazine. Anytime I do a 5 setup, you want to make sure you have these main 4 right here, and then the rest of the stuff is optional, but the fire mod of recoil, it just makes it so much better. As you guys are going to see here, same difference. The gun is still usable at any of the ranges with minimal recoil due to leaving the recoil springs on, but like I said, that's just up to you guys. As long as you have those main 4 ones on, usually anything after is perfectly fine. That's pretty much it for this video. As always, if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.